Rádio Unaerp.
Pep Talk, a show that put the pep in your step.
Hey listener, welcome to another episode of Pep Talk, bringing you the latest updates of the week. I'm your host, Helena Fisher. I was born and raised in New York, which is why this podcast is entirely in English. It's the language I learned to think, speak, and question in. For our first segment, it's Real Talk, where I'll be talking about movies, shows, and everything that's on the big or little screen right now. We'll also include the team's recommendations if you're looking for your next watch. In recent times, the debate around beauty standards and how women are treated in the media and on social networks has gained strength, especially as young, globally recognized actresses begin to speak out. The most recent to step away from social media due to aesthetic pressure and constant attacks is Bella Ramsey, the star of The Last of Us. In an interview with Women's Health magazine, the actress revealed that she deleted all her social media accounts on the advice of her therapist after feeling deeply affected by cruel comments about her appearance. Bella said, "I'm not immune to what people say. If I see a comment that's negative about my face, it affects me." She added that the hardest part is having her image constantly judged by standards she never chose to follow. Known for her talent and authenticity, Bella now raises an important question. How healthy is it to stay exposed and in this kind of environment? And Bella is not alone. In Brazil, actress Paola Oliveira also became the target of harsh comments about her body after appearing in Carnival videos. Despite being healthy and active, she was labeled outside and standard by internet users. In response, she received overwhelming support from other celebrities and her partner, singer Diogo Nogueira. The incident exposed just how deeply the beauty dictatorship affects even women whose bodies have long been celebrated by the media, proving that for many it's never enough. Another actress who has dealt with this from a young age is Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things. At just 19, she posted a heartfelt message on social media about how she's constantly attacked for her looks, her clothes, and the way she presents herself. "This isn't journalism, it's bullying," she declared. In her video, Millie emphasized that she wants to be known for her work, not for what she wears or how she looks. And the list goes on. Celebrities like Rihanna, Anitta, Cleo Pires, Simone Mendes, and Gisele Bündchen have also faced criticism about their bodies, whether due to natural changes, weight fluctuations, or simply not fitting public expectations. Most of them responded the same way, by showing they're confident in who they are and reinforcing that the only standards that truly matter are health, freedom, and self-respect. These stories reveal an uncomfortable truth for many women. Especially those in the spotlight, aesthetic pressure has become a silent and often cruel form of social control. And I just wanted to comment on this a little bit myself. You can see that, beauty standards are constantly changing, so that's something that's also crazy to me, that the type of body that is most desirable is always changing and always moving through the decades, so it's kind of this impossible standard to meet because once you finally meet it, another standard is placed upon us, so that's something that I just have noticed with the actresses in Hollywood and also with anyone who's seen publicly. But the good news is that more and more voices are rising against this kind of virtual violence, and the presence of these actresses, vulnerable yet strong in their stance, reminds us that no one should ever be reduced to their appearance. Totally agree. Now, launching on Pep Talk, our new opinion segment, Let's Be Honest. Here we speak straight, no filters, no sugarcoating, but with responsibility. We'll tackle topics that affect society, relationships, culture, and ourselves. The goal is to reflect, provoke, and sometimes disagree, always with respect and honesty. Take a deep breath, and let's be honest. Recently, singer Justin Bieber, who most girls have had a crush on since they were kids, sparked controversy by publicly recalling that he once told his wife Hailey that she would never be on the cover of Vogue, a comment he himself admitted that was mean-spirited. The statement reignited debates about what constitutes a toxic relationship. Toxic relationships don't always involve physical violence. More often, they show up in words that belittle, comparisons that hurt, and behaviors that directly impact a partner's self-esteem. Hailey, for example, was spoken openly about the emotional toll of being constantly compared to Justin's ex-girlfriends and the challenges of facing public criticism. These episodes highlight how even high-profile relationships can include harmful behaviors, ones that should never be romanticized. It's worth reflecting constant criticism, disguised contempt, and subtle humiliation are not part of a healthy love. Respect must be the foundation of any relationship. And I hope that all of you listening know that and listen. And if you identified with any of these situations, know that it's okay to seek help. Loving someone should never mean suffering. And just a little note, a little thought. He definitely knows what he was doing in the way that just by the fact that he made her achievement about himself and about something that he said, oh, I thought you'd never be on Vogue, but look at you now. It's insane that he would decide to post that. It just doesn't make sense. He clearly made it about himself. He clearly made the situation, took away her limelight and her time to shine. So I think that's something that is definitely reflective of an insecure personality that doesn't know how to let someone shine, especially their own partner. And it's crazy because her own enemy, her biggest enemy, seems to be her partner. So that's all I have to say on that. Let's move on to the weekly debrief, where I'll be bringing you some of the week's most relevant topics. Think of it as a fast pass to some of the biggest headlines. The first story that shaped this week is, this week, Brazil's Ministry of Agriculture confirmed 2 cases of H5N1 virus in the state of Rio Grande do Sul. One at a commercial egg farm in Montenegro, and another in wild swans at the zoo in Sapucaia. Nossa, gente, nem eu tô sabendo essa palavra, mas enfim, do Sul. In addition, the country is investigating 4 new suspected cases of contamination in backyard birds in the states of Santa Catarina, Pará, Ceará, and again in Rio Grande do Sul. As a direct consequence, Argentina has temporarily suspended imports of poultry and poultry byproducts from Brazil as a precautionary measure. The ban, announced on May 16th, applies only to states where confirmed cases have occurred and follows international sanitary safety protocols. Argentina is not alone. Other importing countries, such as China and the European Union, have already implemented bans, while others are closely monitoring the situation. Additional restrictions may be imposed in the coming days. The concern is that Brazil, the world's largest exporter of chicken meat, which I also didn't know before searching up on this, may face a temporary drop in international sales. And the effects may reach your dinner table. With lower international demand, chicken prices could decrease for Brazilian consumers. Industry experts say that the production surplus originally intended for export should be redirected to the domestic market, likely leading to a short-term price reduction. Despite growing concern, there is no reason for public alarm, rest assured. Authorities have reiterated that there are no reports of human infection in Brazil, thank God, and that the consumption of chicken and eggs remains safe, as long as the food is properly cooked. The H5N1 virus does not survive high temperatures. The Ministry of Agriculture continues to enforce strict control measures in the affected areas, including sanitary culling, disinfection, and isolation of farms. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health advises the public to avoid contact with sick or dead birds and to report any such findings to local authorities. Avian influenza is a serious disease among birds, but the risk to the human population remains very low. The greatest challenge now is to contain the economic impact and ensure that Brazil maintains its strategic role in the global food trade.
Hey listeners, I'm Ana Clara Parpinelli. Let's take a quick break so you can dive right in the Pep Dictionary. In this segment, I will highlight some vocabulary words to help you boost your vocabulary while staying informed. Today's picks are: outbreak. Tradução: surto. No contexto da notícia, se refere ao início repentino da gripe aviária, H5N1, em aves no Rio Grande do Sul. É o ponto de partida da preocupação sanitária. Subsistence farming. Tradução: criação de subsistência. No nosso contexto, as suspeitas da contaminação envolvem aves criadas em pequenas propriedades, voltadas ao consumo próprio, não à produção comercial. Import ban. Tradução: bloqueio à importação. No contexto, a Argentina e outros países suspendeu temporariamente entradas de aves e produtos no Brasil como forma de prevenção. Sanitary control. Tradução: controle sanitário. No contexto, o governo está adotando ações rigorosas para conter o vírus, como isolamento das granjas e desinfecção dos locais afetados. Culling. Tradução: abate sanitário. No contexto, medida adotada para eliminar aves contaminadas e impedir a disseminação do vírus entre outras aves. Domestic market. Tradução: mercado interno. No contexto da notícia, com a queda das importações, o excesso da produção de frango pode ser redirecionado para o mercado brasileiro. Supply and demand. Tradução: oferta e demanda. No contexto da notícia, como a demanda internacional diminuiu, há mais oferta interna, o que pode deixar os preços para os consumidores do Brasil.
Want to know what's going on beyond Brazil? On Around the World in 5 minutes, I'll take you on a global spin, and you guessed it, 5 minutes. A new practice in some cafes across Spain is sparking debate among customers and business owners. In certain establishments, customers now pay not only for what they consume, but also for how long they stay at the table. The measure has been adopted primarily in cafes frequented by students or people who use the space as a makeshift office, and often occupying tables for hours while ordering just a single coffee. In one example, a cafe in Valencia began charging €3 per hour of stay, offering in return access to Wi-Fi, electrical outlets, and even a drink included. According to the owners, the goal is to balance space usage with the customer turnover. The initiative has divided opinions. For some, it's a fair response to increasingly prolonged and low consumption visits. For others, it threatens the traditional Spanish habit of enjoying coffee without a rush. Experts point out the change reflects a shift in consumer behavior and in the role cafes play in urban life, no longer just meeting places, but also workspaces and areas for extended stays. This trend, which is already present in some European cities, raises an important question. How much is time and space worth inside a cafe? I found this very interesting because, as we pointed out, it's something that goes against traditional Spanish culture, which is to enjoy and to stay there in the cafe and spend as much time as you want. In a lot of other European countries, it's the same. And especially in Spain, I think they have that very easygoing kind of vibe. But because of I guess it's not lucrative for them, for people to stay there and only buy one coffee and just use all their resources, use the Wi-Fi. I guess that's why they had to start charging. So I understand why they would have to do that, but at the same time, I think it goes against some of Spanish culture, something that was very traditional in Spain. So that wraps up our today's show. I'd like to thank our production team, Ana Clara Parpinelli and Maria Amália Marques. I'd also like to thank Rádio Unaerp, under the coordination of Gil Santiago, audio direction by Andrei Violante, and the collaboration of Hugo Nunes. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Official Pep Talk. Stay tuned to Rádio Unaerp for more. See you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Você acompanhou mais uma transmissão da Rádio Unaerp. Audiovisual, Andrei Violante. Assistência, Gustavo Arsêncio e Hugo Rafael. Coordenação, Gil Santiago.